started with Git and GitHub doesn't have to be complicated. In this video, I will walk you through the easiest way to use Git and GitHub using the GitHub Desktop app. Yes, using the GitHub Desktop app. Perfect for beginners in data analysis, data science, and anyone new to version control. But before we get right into it, welcome to my cyberspace. Now, the question is, what is Git and GitHub? Let me try to just make this very simple. A lot of times as data experts, when we are working on a project, we would have to have multiple versions of before we eventually get like the final project. Remember that version 1, final, version 1, final, right? We all know how this works. So how do we ensure that we are efficient? How do we go back in time and say, oh, these changes I made, sorry, I don't want to make the changes. The previous thing I was doing is the correct thing, right? Or you're working with people, the same project, they have different aspects that they're working on in project. How do we ensure that we are not waiting on one person to be able to complete their part before we work on our part? That is the way the idea of Git came in. So Git is more like a version control that allows one to be able to go back in time, to be able to collaborate better as either data scientist, software engineer, or whatever it is. But when you use Git, you have to run it on a command line where you have to know some normally Git commands, and a lot of persons don't really have the time to start to memorize that. So if you're a beginner, I don't even recommend you start to learn that. And that is where GitHub comes in. Where GitHub comes in place, it's a better UI interface for us to be able to use Git and without even having to stress ourselves. But you know what the game changer is? It is GitHub Desktop. If you've not been using GitHub Desktop, you've been sleeping on it. Now let me show you how to get started with GitHub Desktop. First thing, you want to head down to your favorite browser and go to github.com, and I would assume at this point you have an account. If you don't have an account, just click on sign up and just put on your credentials. You could continue with Google. It's a very easy sign-in way. I'm not going to sign up. I do have an account already. So let's go to my GitHub account. So let's just click on this. So this is GitHub. So first things first is you probably might want to create your GitHub account from the GitHub web itself. So go to GitHub web, and this is my repository. So repository are projects that you created. So I have my first repository that is here, and this is currently private. I could make this public, and so we have a first. This is the only repository here. So you might be wondering, what is a repository? Think of it like a folder, but that might not be the best way, but just think of it as a folder, because you can have a subfolder within a folder, right? So how do you get started with how do you use GitHub efficiently? So first thing, you want to download GitHub Desktop. So just click on download GitHub Desktop and just click on it. It's a very simple download. I have it downloaded already. So you just click on this, whatever device you're using. Either you're using a Mac, it's going to show you the exact version. So at this point, you could pause this video to get to download GitHub and Desktop if you have GitHub Desktop already. So all you just need to do is just search for it. So search for GitHub. So I click on to app or whatever. I just click on open up GitHub Desktop. Now your interface might not look like this, but first thing first is you might see a bunch of things pop up, clone repository around here. But if I were you, just click on file, click on new repository. So let's call this my first test repo, right? So if you try to add a space to this name, it's not going to take it on. Will be created as this, so you don't want to use a space. This is our first test repo. Make sure you pay attention to this part. In case you don't want this part, you could choose a different part. So this is on my document, and it will create a folder called GitHub itself. You could click on initialize this repository with a readme. Readme is more like a file that's just helps you explain better what you're working. That helps you with documentation. You could leave this git ignore as none, and licensing as none. There are different licensing, you could read them about, but one of the most popular licensing is the MIT license. Basically what that is just all about is that it allows people to replicate your project and all of that. So we could leave it as none, but let's just choose the MIT licensing, and we create repository. Now, creating this repository, there's something we need to do. If I go to my GitHub Desktop, right, this is my repository. I still have my old repository that I have here, which was updated 10 minutes ago, so I don't have this current one. So what do I need to do? You need to publish this repository. So just click on publish, and it asks you just same thing, keep this code private. A lot of times you don't want to keep a code private. You might if you're working on a project, but I will just uncheck this box so that people can see what I'm also doing, and you could also learn from it. So publish repository. So we just look at like how long, and this is done, like it takes really seconds. So we go to the repository. This is the web version. If I reload this page, I already have this repo that I created. Look at this, it says updated now, and this is public, right? So it's as simple as that. The question is, how do you use the repository? Like if you want to update your files, what do you need to do? So first things first is we want to locate these repositories on our local machine, right? First thing is I just go to my browser, and I know it was stored in documents, and there's a folder called GitHub, and this is the first test, my first test repo. This is the one we just created right some few minutes ago. Right now there's nothing right here, and that's just all I have. So let's assume I'm working on this project and I intended to add something. I created more stuff. How do you publish it to your GitHub without stress? So first thing, you just go to, I have this file that I want to copy. I just want to copy this file, and I want to put it up in that same folder, this same folder that we created from GitHub Desktop. I put it up here, and that's all I just need to do. Immediately you open up your GitHub Desktop, it sort of senses the data you uploaded already. All you just have to do is just click on this checkbox and say maybe updated data, and you can explain better. This is the CSV file for the project. Depends on whatever you want to do. You could commit one file to main. You could leave it as that and just click on commit. Now, if the fact that we committed this file doesn't mean that I'm still going to see this file in my GitHub web. You are not done yet. So if I go back to this and I click on this, you notice that I'm still not seeing the data that's on my local device, right? I'm not seeing this data yet. This data is not there yet. So first thing is it's not there yet. So I need to go to my GitHub Desktop and click on push origin. Immediately I do this and it's done. This is literally going to be on my GitHub web. This is published already. It's as simple as that. So if I reload this, I have my data already. This is my data. Now let's assume like I am somewhere, like somebody wanted to, I just want to show you how to even maximize the GitHub well, and I am on the GitHub Desktop and I just want to upload a file or upload a code. You could click on add file from the GitHub web, and you will literally see that file on your local machine. So I click on upload file. I want to upload something from my desktop. I want to upload this Jjay copy, so it's right here, and I just upload it. And you could also do the same thing, uploading Power BI. You could add an option extended, so commit directly to the main. You could choose commit to a new branch, but this is if you are collaborating with different person or you are making different versions but you're not sure this is the final copy. So leave it as commit directly to the main and click on commit changes. Mainly you click on commit changes. This is on the web alone. It's not currently on my device, right? I mean, you need to be able to pull this. So what you need to do is just go to your GitHub Desktop, and I need to fetch origin. So if I reload this, literally and I click on either Ctrl Shift P, or I click on pull origin, this is going to be on my local device. Like, let's go check it out. So now I have the Jjay copy. So in case you are new to Git or GitHub, this is one of the easiest way. Just download GitHub Desktop, create a GitHub account, whatever changes you are making, make it on your local device.